He does if I could.
Very, I'm not a bit stirred up because it's just very, right? You too? Yeah.
Do you have any literature in testing? Testing. I think you can hear me. Can you hear me? Brochures at that time. Yeah, okay, they'll pick it up. You test with this microphone, can you hear me now? Do you want to get one of those and just stand in front of it?
These little mics, they don't pick anything up. You have to hold them.
Mm-hmm. To hold 2 miles. Weird world. Testing. You know. Testing. It's still pretty quiet. You talk and I'll go to the. Is it actually on? Yes, should be. Is it on? It is on. There it is. Okay. Are you going to speak from over here? Yeah, we can put you right there. Just bring it a little close. You don't have a guitar. He doesn't have his guitar.
I want to volunteer to play and sing in front.
You want to what?
Volunteer to play and sing at lunch sometime.
Oh,
And we've
absolutely.
done that before.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe I can talk to folks.
yeah. We'd love that. We'd love it. Yeah, we have to mask up. We do. We do. Hi, Betty. You and Mary Coleman. Yeah, so I want to come up. At the very beginning, or do you have? I do see that people have joined online, and we want to welcome you to orientation. We'll get started in about 5 minutes. You're fine. And so if I thought if you're here, you can just make sure people, if we, and then we'll do introductions.
Okay.
The beginning. Yeah. What time is it? We have about 4 minutes until we get started, and this mic is always hot, so won't carry it around then. I've already said welcome to those joining us online. There's a few in the Zoom room. Oh, there are? Yes. Yes. Okay. So count how many people are here. When we get started. We'll have Rich do that. Well, I will when I step back. I'm probably doing my part up until we get to the kind of the nuts and bolts. And Emily's here with Right at Home.
So I see all of you who are joining us on Zoom. We're getting everything set up down in the live version of this. But I'll be here to answer any questions you have by chat if you have them, or after they're done down there and we stop the Zoom, we can Zoom and answer any questions that you might have. But welcome, I'm glad to see you. Some of you I've seen before and some of you are new. So
This looks like a great ventriloquist act where I'm talking, but you don't see anything happening at all. And I'm not really speaking. That's Donna Elke in our office speaking to those Zooming. And we'll get started in here, like she said, in just a few minutes. So. I just didn't move my own sock puppet hand. I'll use my own little hand. It feels like you should introduce Emily a staff. Do I have the name tag in a good place? Maybe tell me when to go. Another minute.
Yeah. It's not mine, it's somebody else. Oh, right there. Right there.
How many new people did you say we have? 52? Okay. Oh, I just hurt my hand. I'll let you.
Good morning. We're going to get started because we have a lot to cover in a short amount of time. We wanted this to be an hour or under, so we're not taking up your whole day, but we have a lot of people to introduce to you. There will be a quiz afterwards, so start taking it. I'm kidding. Welcome to orientation for LifeQuest for the winter term. Welcome to our online viewers. We have Zoomers zooming into this meeting today, and it's recorded. This is what LifeQuest is about. This is what it looks like. Some people come in person, some attend online. A lot of our meetings, recordings, and classes are recorded for you can watch them or view them at a later time. This is kind of the way we're doing business now in our post-pandemic world at LifeQuest. I'm Leah Greenfield. I'm the executive director, and I have some staff members to introduce you. Online is Donna. Donna Elke is our program coordinator. Say hi, Donna. She's there. She's probably letting people in. Next to me is Gina.
hi, everyone.
Hi, Donna. Next to me is Gina Bridges. She's our program director. In the back is Heather Thompson. She's our business manager. So that's LifeQuest. That's four women running the world right here at LifeQuest. We make a lot of plates spin, particularly this one over here. You'll see Gina running around because she's also the only technical savvy person on the team. So we're really glad to have her. I also want to introduce to you some other special guests in the room. We have Rich Roy. You're going to be hearing from him in a minute. He is the chair of our curriculum committee. Those are the volunteers that vet. I'm holding two mics because this one's for our Zoom and this is for in here. So I have to get Thank you for that reminder. The curriculum committee is a group of about 20 volunteers that vets our classes and builds the program, builds our curriculum. That's the name, curriculum committee. So they recruit and retain our instructors and help us come up with a balanced, interesting, and challenging curricula. So we're thankful for Rich for his leadership on that committee. We also have a couple of sponsors here. LifeQuest is greatly supported by donations from individuals, from our congregational supporters like Second Pres, we'll talk about that in a minute, and by our corporate sponsors. And so Mary Coleman, you're going to hear from her at the end of our program. Mary Coleman is from Chenal Pines. She brought some information on the table. And Emily Ingram, who many of you may know because she's former executive director of LifeQuest. She's now at Right at Home. And I hope she'll spend a minute, promise 1 minute to I didn't tell her she was going to speak, but to talk to us a little bit about Right at Home. They are another important sponsor, new again this year for LifeQuest. So Donna is going to advance the slides, but my job is to say welcome and a few bits of information. So if you'll go to the next slide, Donna, and we'll see what's going on.
She'll get it.
It'll just, there she goes. Okay. So our mission is to provide lifelong learning and meaningful volunteer opportunities in the community for retired aged adults. What I love, and that someone described, one of our instructors describes LifeQuest as a small liberal arts college for retirees, which is great. It is liberal arts because it covers such a wide range of topics, but unlike a college, there are no tests, no homework, no attendance requirement, no certificate either, but our mission is lifelong learning. That's what we're all about. It's like, and you can see some fun members taking classes below. Go ahead, Donna, the next one. And this is some members that some of you may recognize. And the bottom left, I just want to point out, is one of our volunteer instructors. I'll tell you more about instructors in a minute, but that is Marcy Smith, who turns 101 this February and has been teaching advanced conversational Spanish people for over 20 years at LifeQuest. And she teaches on Zoom when she needs to. She has no problem with that. Next slide. Here's the staff. You've met us, and we will point out where our office is. We've been housed within Second Presbyterian Church for a long, long time, but we're not a Presbyterian organization. We're a nonprofit. We're our own separate 501c3 organization, but we receive a lot of support from congregations, and especially Second Pres. They're our real partners here at LifeQuest. Go ahead. So we began in 1981 as Shepherd Center of Little Rock. That's a long time ago, really. Doesn't seem very far, but we've been here 41 years. And so we changed the name to LifeQuest in 2003 to distinguish from a lot of other shepherds around Central Arkansas. There was a Shepherd's Rehab at the time and another facility. So we became LifeQuest in 2003, but here you see a 2008 picture of several representatives of congregational support. We really serve as an extension of the ministries of many faith-based congregations and what they are needing to do to keep their older members active and engaged. Next, we're organized like a small college into terms, sort of like a quarter system. We have a fall term, which is our largest. We're beginning next week our winter term. We have a spring term. Each of those, fall, winter, and spring, are 8 weeks in length. And then we have a shorter summer term. What sets us apart is that you don't pay by the class at LifeQuest. You pay by the term. It just keeps things simple. So you pay one fee per 8-week, or in the summer, 4-week term. Some of those classes may have additional class fees if you're receiving materials or a book or a manual or something like that. So you may have some additional class fees, but for most of our classes, it's one price per term. Next. I just had to show some of our classes. On the left on the piano is Tom Cox. He's the instructor for jazz piano. In the middle is John Brummett, who's the popular or not popular, depending on how you view it, the op-ed columnist for the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. He teaches behind the headlines, which he has done for 25 years. And the man loves to hear himself talk, so come and you agree or disagree. He leans left. LifeQuesters try to yank him back to the middle. We fail every term, but we keep going, and he challenges our perspectives on many local and national issues. And then on the right is Connie Wardell teaching advanced paper crafting, because again, the breadth of classes are so wide. It really is amazing. This is not a senior center. We are here to challenge you in math, science, politics, history, language, yoga, Tai Chi, pickleball. We start that this winter. And I hope I'm not stepping on what Gina is planning to say, but the real miracle of LifeQuest is that all of these classes are taught by volunteer instructors. Volunteerism is a part of our mission, and this is one of the ways we accomplish that. All our instructors are volunteers. Next slide. All right, so, and I think this is my last slide. So fun facts, I get all the fun stuff. Average age, if you're wondering, is 74, but you know, what is a number? Well, we live young at LifeQuest. Most of our new members are recently retired. I say most, that's certainly not all. It doesn't necessarily reflect who is in this room, but most of our new members are recently retired. And then I'm telling you, once you take a LifeQuest class, you tend to get hooked and you come back. And so we have people that come back year after year after year. And so there is no minimum age to attend LifeQuest. That's a myth. And there's certainly no maximum age. So 74 is the average, but there's about a 50-year span from 50 on one end to 100 on the other, generally, each term. We are volunteer driven. I've already mentioned our curriculum committee. We have a board of directors, we have instructors, and we have key volunteers that keep all the plates spinning. 4 people cannot keep 47 classes and hundreds of volunteers organized. It takes a lot of volunteers, and we really rely on our sponsors. They can tell you we put them to work. We also have online members participating from all over Arkansas. I started to say, no, we don't. Gina said, yes, we do. All 4 corners. So we are really online all over the state in 6 different surrounding states and even overseas. So we have people, you can Zoom from anywhere as long as you understand what time zone you're in and how to log on. It really has expanded our reach at LifeQuest. Even though we know and we love to see our members face to face, the silver lining that COVID has brought is that we are able to reach people that wouldn't normally get to come to LifeQuest, whether they are out of the geographical distance of this church, or they have caregiving needs, or mobility issues, or weather. So for a lot of those reasons, we're really glad to keep our Zoomers. We're glad that our Zoomers are joining us today for this orientation. And before we get into the fun facts, can we have our guests?
That's what I was going to ask. We can go ahead and have Rich and everybody.
Okay, so we're going to start with Rich, and then we'll go to Mary and then Emily for just a quick minute, and then Gina will give you some of the nuts and bolts, yeah. And then we'll break and take tours. We'll show you where the bathrooms are at that point.
When you're letting everybody come and say who they are, can you just have them pop their head down into that little screen so that those of us who are here online can actually see their faces, so maybe we can start making those connections?
Where that is.
I'll go to the.
Come here. We're going to take a little trip.
Okay. So we're going to have Rich
right here.
Wave to our
And
Zoomers.
we're going to leave at this camera. And then we're going to walk back over here. And we're going to hold this so they can hear.
Yeah.
Okay. Chair of the curriculum committee.
Oh, Lord. I'm honored and privileged to be part of this outstanding team, and the curriculum committee. We are volunteers. I've been involved with LifeQuest now for, I can't remember when, but Dr. Ralph McKenna started a folk music class. and I became one of the original LifeQuest folkies. And we still have a class bringing music to share with you, but most every term when COVID doesn't frighten us away. I want to say thank you to all of you who are here. I was going to say, I recognize most of you, but then everybody's got a mask on, so I'm used to seeing that. Y'all look alike. No, not really. Some of you I do know, and I'm glad for all of you who are new. I look forward to your participation. And if you haven't formally signed up, please sign up for classes and consider yourself bringing class ideas and sharing it via staff or through me to the curriculum committee. We appreciate you for being here, and we look forward to this coming term with you. Thank you.
Okay. Who wants to go next? Yes, we're going to go stick our face in the camera first. Just stand in front of there and wave hi.
Right here?
Introduce yourself.
I'm Mary Coleman with Chenal Pines.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll head over and speak into both microphones, please.
Okay, both microphones. I'm going to have to bring it down.
That's
All right,
fine.
I'm vertically challenged. Okay, my name is Mary Coleman, and I'm so happy to be here today. We at Chenal Pines, that's who I represent, are sponsors of LifeQuest again this year. It is just a pleasure to be here and to be associated with such a great group. I could be a Chenal Pines resident right now. I age qualify, and I qualify to be here as a LifeQuest member, and I look forward to doing that one day. But for anyone who is looking to shed yourself of the hassle and home maintenance that homes provide, and you're looking to start enjoying life a little bit more, if you're looking for 3 meals a day, light housekeeping, lots of friends and activities, transportation to various events such as the doctor, then we are located right in nestled in the neighborhoods of Chenal Valley, the upscale area of West Little Rock. It's a beautiful community. We're going to be celebrating our 3rd birthday this spring. We have wonderful residents that are so welcoming and are always looking for a new face to join our family. So I invite you to call me. I have some literature over here at the table. Just give me a call and you can come in for a no obligation tour just to look around and see what we're all about. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. I just have to say, I was really disappointed when they came up and I said, what's the minimum age? And I think they said 55 or 60. And I'm like, I have a few years to go because I don't like to cook. You know, who likes all that house maintenance? So, all right, Emily Ingram.
Hi, everybody. I'm
Hey.
Emily from Right at Home. Good to see you.
Yeah.
And I apologize. I did not know I was going to be speaking, so I'm a little casually dressed. And so anyway, I am Emily Ingram. I currently work at Right at Home, which provides in-home care services. We work closely with Chenal Pines and refer each other. So it's nice to see Mary here. But I did work at LifeQuest for close to 9 years. And so LifeQuest is near and dear to my heart. So when I went to work for Right at Home, I immediately told our owner, Lauren Miller, you've got to support LifeQuest. So here we are, and we're hoping to do some classes this year, maybe some things for caregivers, things on aging at home, you know, tools and resources you need to age at home and all different things. But we do provide in-home care. So if you or a loved one needs care at home, whether that be errands or cooking light meals or transportation, even transportation to things like LifeQuest we have are available. Or if you're a caregiver and you need some respite care, you need to be able to get out of the house to go to LifeQuest, then we can come in for a few hours and sit with your loved one and even just keep them company. So anyway, Right at Home's excited to be a sponsor. Thank you for letting me speak, everybody. And I'll hand it over to you.
Okay. Donna, if you want to go to the next slide. And we'll just go ahead and go to the next slide. We should have had that up while we were having everybody. This is normally actually Leah's spiel, but I guess I get to do this. Hi again, I'm Gina Bridges. I am the new program director. I've been at LifeQuest for about 7 years now. We are a nonprofit. Guess how nonprofits get their money? We don't get money from the government. We don't get money from your taxes. We get money straight from you from registration fees or from gifts. And you can, you know, give somebody a birthday gift, do an honorarium gift, do a tribute gift for someone who's passed away. We love gifts. We love all kinds of gifts. We'll take snacks too. We, you know, just anything. So just throwing that up there. If you want to give gifts, they are tax deductible. So we can go to the next slide. If Donna's available to go to the next slide. Oh, and so Leah handles also corporate sponsors. This is a list of our corporate sponsors. Thank you to all of them for supporting us so that we can all come and have class and so that we can be employed. And on the next slide is the congregational supporters that still support us. Like Leah said, they do see this as an outreach ministry for them a lot of times. So they'll ask us, how many members do we have at LifeQuest? That's why we ask you what your church home is. We aren't going to visit you at church on Sunday because we have our own places that we go, but we might tell Second Pres, hey, you have 120 members registered this term. Next, we have another slide. And again, we just love our volunteers. Next slide. Okay, nitty and gritty, here I go. Our COVID policy is that everyone who attends in-person classes must provide proof of vaccination and be up to date on their record according to the CDC website, whatever that may be. So if the CDC says for someone who's 30 years old, they only have to have 4 shots, then we require that they have 4 shots. If they say it's recommended you have a bivalent, we would love you to get a bivalent. So our policy is on our website. It goes into more detail. Unfortunately, at this time, Pulaski County is at high, so we are asking everyone to wear masks. The next 2 weeks are kind of in flux for us as we determined if we're going to adhere to our high standard or revise our policy. We will not have lunch the first week, and we will not have snacks available the first week because we have to wait for those decisions to be made. We will keep you posted. Another thing you need to know is if you are going to watch Brummett or Alan Easton's American National Interest, or if you're going to watch the trials class, those are only available online through Facebook. So you will want to be a Facebook member and in person. They're only available online through Facebook. But if you want to come in person and we've got you registered, we'd love to see you. So that's why we ask for your Facebook name so that, well, let me back up. We ask for your Facebook name so we can admit you to our private group. It's not something that you can just join on Facebook willy-nilly. And some people don't want to be found on Facebook. Former counselors, police officers, other professions, they use a pseudonym. And so, or you're just your maiden name in some cases. And so if I don't know who that person is, I'm not going to let them in the group unless you tell me what your name is. Now, we're going to jump into this next slide. Parking today was really easy. There are only about 60 of you here. On Wednesday morning at 9 a.m., we expect that there will be about 200 to 300 people here. That's not horribly congested because in the past we have had to have a shuttle between here and St. James. At 8:30 in the morning, preschool parents are dropping off their children. Again, at noon, they're dropping off picking up their children. The parking lot is technically one way, like a clock. So we ask that you please not drive behind the church going against the traffic because you might run into a parent who's just picked up their kid. Also, at this time, all the kids are being dropped off at the doors, but sometimes there are little kids in the parking lot and they're very short. So please be considerate in the parking lot and don't fly through at 20 miles an hour. 10 miles is great. I've already mentioned snacks and coffee. When we get to medium and low levels, we love to have snacks and coffee. That's one thing you can also drop by the LifeQuest office is homemade snacks. So we get first dibs because like I said, I don't cook. So just saying. At high, we do ask that you wear a mask. We make provisions when registration happens that classes cannot exceed a certain limit so that we don't have to cancel classes as we have had to in the past, with the exception of Mahjong because you're at a card table. So for the first week of class, Mahjong is canceled, but we hope to revise our policy and get them back in gear. After that, at medium level, if your instructor is someone who has maybe a compromised immune system and they ask you to wear a mask, please follow their direction and wear a mask. At low level, we don't ask. At the same time, there are only 4 people on staff. We are not the COVID police. We are not going to save your COVID card. We are not going to go drag you to the pharmacy to get a shot, and we are not going to pull your mask up over your nose. It's, the way life is. Name tags. If you are registered for class prior to today, you will already get a name tag Tuesday morning when we start. We have a name tag cart, which we will walk by and show you. And on the outside of it is a list of all the names alphabetically with a number. You find your number, you look on this thing that kind of looks like a shutter thing, and you find your number there, you pick out your name tag, you put it on. You're adults. You can take these name tags home with you and keep them for the whole 8 weeks, or you can put them back there at the end of class and we'll house it for you. We do change name tags every 8 weeks because we have over 5,000 people in our database and we don't know who's going to take classes each term. Our inclement weather policy is on our website. There's a lot of stuff on our website. Basically, for in-person classes, if Little Rock School District is closed, we are closed. If you have an online class, as long as the instructor has electricity and internet and a staff person has the same, we'll do our best to have class. Someone was confused, so I put this in here so I could describe this a little bit. We do have classes Monday through Thursday. However, next week, Monday is Martin Luther King Day, and that is a staff holiday, so the office will be closed. If your class begins on Monday, it will technically start the next week on January 23rd, and then it will go 8 weeks until March 13th. Tuesday classes that start January 17th will end the week before that Monday. It's different. We've never really enforced Martin Luther King Day. We've kind of used it as a floating holiday, but we were like, the time has come. We've got to do our bit and, honor what's going on. So let's see what the next slide is. All right. So if you have signed up to take online classes, or if you have signed up for an in-person class that might have materials, like you're taking a pastels class and you want to know what the material list is, you're going to want to sign into our website. When you register, you get a big long email from me that says, this is the username and this is the password. The password changes every term, and I don't divulge it on this because this is recorded and put out into the public. If you don't remember the password or don't know where your email is, please contact us and we will get it to you. Let's go to the next one. If you are on our website, this is what the login page looks like. It looks different on different devices. If you're on an iPad or an iPhone and taking a class in a coffee shop, you may see a blue menu bar above the red bar at the top, and you're going to get an extra menu in that, and that's going to say, oh, look, here's the login word. Your username for everybody is what? A little louder. Awesome. The password changes.
We didn't hear that. So the username for everybody online, folks, is LifeQuest.
Exactly. LifeQuest.
And it's not case sensitive. So
no, it is not your email. It is not your name. We've had other people call and say, I don't know what it is. It's LifeQuest. So once you log in, we're going to push this button underneath and we'll go to the next slide. And it will say, welcome to your class portal. This is where you see 3 buttons: class access, materials, and recordings. Class access, you click that button and you're going to get a chronological list of all the classes that are available online, no matter if it's private or open. Underneath each of those class descriptions, it will have a button that says either Zoom or Facebook. If it has both, you can attend class either way. I recommend Zoom because it's interactive and you can chat and ask your teacher questions in real time. If you want to watch on Facebook and be anonymous because that's just easier for you, by all means, please come to class on Facebook and know that someone is also watching that area for questions. If your class has materials or a reading list, or they want you to watch a funny video with otters swimming, please click materials. That's listed alphabetically according to what class it is. You can go look. There are already lots of materials that have been supplied there. Recordings. If the instructor says, yes, record my class, awesome. You can watch that class at 2 a.m. You don't have to come on the day of. If you're a night owl, just wake up, watch it. It's right there. Most of the recordings are typically uploaded the day they are live. If they're not, I'm sorry, I went home. I'm going to wait till tomorrow to do it. If there is a class that you really want recorded and your instructor's not recording it, ask your instructor, this would be a great class for my friend in Utah. Did you think about recording your class? And maybe we can get them on board for the next time. Let's see what the next slide is. So we have that recording section per term. 8 weeks, you actually get 1 week extra to watch those recordings. We also have our annual library. This is an awesome deal to subscribe to in January. $50 from January 1st to December 31st. All 200, 300 videos that we have recorded in the last 3 years. And then at the end of this term, classes will be added to it. So there are art class, we have them divided into subjects also. So if you're just looking for certain classes, you can scroll down this page and you'll see, politics or history or art, find recordings. That's also a great gift for people who are out of state, or if you have somebody that might be interested and they're just kind of like, well, what are the classes like? Say, well, let me give you a subscription for your birthday. You can see what classes are like. Let's see what's next. Do you want to address this? Okay. We'll hold questions in just a second. Let Leah do this and I'll let you handle that.
So I know COVID has kind of put the kibosh on travel, but we got a great start with travel. We partner with Colette Travel. So this trip is coming up in August, and some people thought, oh, I don't want to go on a trip in August, it's too hot. Well, this is the one we picked because it's higher elevation. So they do a really good job. They keep their tours to just 24 people. So you're not having to wait in line, at the back of a line of 80 people and trying to get on and off a big, huge bus or buses. So it's just a small coach bus that they take up until, I think it's February 12th, we get first dibs on who gets to go on that trip. After February 12th, they open it up to anybody in the country that wants to go, but it's still a Colette trip. So they just went to Maine last September, and I think we had 8 people from LifeQuest, and then the rest of the bus was filled with people from all over the country. So it's kind of fun. They had their little LifeQuest core group, and then they got to meet couples and made friends with the rest of the people, and they traveled for 9 days together on this little 24-person bus. They do all of the arrangements for meals, for bed and breakfast. They're not putting you up at the La Quinta. It's cute little boutique places along the way. And the nice thing about going on this trip to state parks is you get in the front of the line. So you're not having to wait with the masses to get through some of those crowded areas. And in August, it'll be a little bit lighter of a crowd too. So we really like Colette. The main reason we like Colette is that they have a guaranteed refund policy. And we've had to use that through COVID. We had a trip to Italy that had to be canceled and everybody got their money back. So there's a really good insurance, and then there's a guarantee, no stress cancellation policy. So to be transparent, we get a little bit of money from them. We get a little bit of a kickback. It's not a great amount. It's not even really considered part of our fundraising. But LifeQuest does benefit because we promote the trips for them that may or may not be filled with LifeQuest members. But we keep using them because our members have had good experiences. So there's information on the table outside if you're interested in thinking about it, want to learn more. And then there'll be a Zoom presentation with the Colette Travel Trip Coordinator first week during the travel class. So wanted to talk to you about that. What's the next slide? And I think we're about ready for questions. And then we can start talking about, we can break for tours. But I have a hand here.
I'm a little confused on a COVID card. If we could, when we register, are we covered?
He's asking about the COVID card. We don't keep it. If you've shown it to us, we check a box in our database that it has been submitted and you're good to go. If you want to make sure we got it, check with us in the office. But we're not health professionals. We're not keeping. Yeah, you do not. Once you have submitted it, if you haven't, a good way to test, if you're coming here for in-person classes, and that's the only, online or people, we don't need to see your COVID card. If you're coming here for in-person classes, if you have a name tag then that we have no questions about your registration, including whether or not you've submitted your COVID card. You're good to go. If you don't have a name tag, it either means something's missing in your registration, or we made a human error and just forgot to print your name tag. I mean, that happens too. So it's don't read too much into it or worry about it until you check with Donna or I in the office, and let's make sure. We'll show you that name tag card on our tour. We didn't mention about meals, but I want to say really quickly that we have meals 2 ways, 2 days. So once we get back to being able to serve our hot lunch on Wednesdays, which we really hope we can, darn COVID. But once we get the clearance that we can start doing that, we'll have lunches for $10 a person, and that's a complete hot lunch, including dessert. And that is served in our Great Hall. We'll show you that on the tour. And that's every Wednesday at noon. You can bring your own lunch too, because there's always a fun program during that hour. That's part of our Wednesday regular curriculum. In addition, on Thursdays, and this is nice if you don't want to cook on the weekend, we have Bruce Jeffrey from Market Street Catering, who's offering curbside meals. That's open to any LifeQuest member, any member of Second Breath, any preschool teacher or parent, anybody who wants to, where they can order through LifeQuest a curbside meal for $16. It's 2 generous portions, and then desserts are optional and additional. And I'll show you where that curbside pickup is. And that's on Thursdays. So you have to order both of those the Wednesday before, the week before. So you kind of have to know. Personally, I've just done all of it all at once. I know my husband will have a home cooked meal at least once a week, because I've ordered from Bruce, and I've ordered this for pickup, and I'm going to enjoy the Brenda Majors, who's the church's chef, those home cooked meals on Wednesday. So Wednesdays and Thursdays, you have 2 ways to eat. What are the questions?
You don't have to order a meal when you order dessert on Wednesday. If you just have company coming and you want a dessert
On Thursday. Yeah.
Thursday, sorry. Thursday curbside, you want a dessert, that's usually like an 8-inch round pan, so that's gonna be a good thing too.
These are good. They're good. They do. I'm impressed. Go ahead, Esmeralda. Do you have a question?
Yes, I know we learned
So we forgot to mention that. She's asking, when do we learn where to go? We call it a half sheet because it's on a half sheet of paper. And on one side is Wednesday, or the class is on Monday and Tuesday. And the other side, I think, is probably a menu. We'll wait until about the day before classes. So probably by next Monday, at least, they'll be everywhere. I don't know what color they're going to be. Donna, have you decided what color they're going to be this year?
Yep, they're going to be a pretty wintry, icy blue color. So
Okay, for winter.
you'll see them. It'll be the same color as the signs. You'll know where they're at. And if you don't, pop your head in the office and we'll make sure that you get one. So
yeah, so they'll be everywhere. And some of our sponsors will be here that first day to help you get your name tag, help you find the half sheet and point you in the right direction. And what we'll do today is just show you the kind of the main areas of this building, which seems huge, but we only really use a portion of it. And then you'll be able to find your way around. When you get that and it says room 62, you'll go, where would that be? Oh, I bet it's in that classroom hallway they showed me at orientation. Good question. Another one? What about pickleball? Well, who knew that pickleball was going to be the hot ticket item? If you were enrolled in pickleball, then you got the golden ticket. Who knew? I didn't even know what it was, but pickleball apparently is fabulous and everybody wants in. Well, we have a brand new instructor, and as you heard me say, all of our instructors are volunteers. So we're going to let her get her feet wet and be really, really nice to her. So she'll come back and maybe bring others that can expand our offerings, because we have a waiting list for pickleball. If you're in that class and are not able to come, you're holding someone's spot. So let us know and we'll fill your space, but have fun, because this is going to be something we definitely want to bring back to LifeQuest. We do. We'll show you where the gym is. She's asking where that pickleball will be. It'll be in our it's called the Great Hall. It's like the cafeteria, theater, gym space in the church. Something about Second Pres. We really try to be good guests. We're not a Second Presbyterian organization. We're our own. So when we're in and we're using the facilities here, we try to only have water in the classroom, particularly on carpet. We try to keep the snacks to the snack area. We try to just clean up ourselves if we've got art supplies everywhere else, because otherwise we literally are afterwards, because this is a busy, active church. This church, more than any other one, and I don't even belong here, but I can say this, is active in the community. And so they have everything from a Chinese language congregation to all the recovery groups, to grief support groups and Alzheimer's support groups, Parkinson's support groups, and then their own church Sunday school classes and activities. And so this is a very heavy use building, and we're only a part of it. And we seem to take up a lot of space, particularly when that parking lot gets really full. And she's already mentioned the preschool. So there's a lot of setup and takedown in between. There are custodians on staff, and you'll see Gina running around like crazy trying to get instructors hooked up to mics. But just know that we're a guest in the building. Any other questions before we go on tours? And we'll be able to, any online questions? Donna, do we have any Zoom questions? Look at your faces.
I'm gonna do the Zoom questions after you guys go. So I stopped the share, and I'm gonna let you guys like exit out of the meeting, and then I'm gonna share with the Zoomers here and see if they have questions and make sure that they're all ready to go for the new term.
Okay, Zoomers, we're glad you're here. We're looking forward to seeing you online this winter in class. Take care.
So it's just us now. Do y'all have any questions about the upcoming term or?
Yeah, Janet Brown has a question. I signed up for the Monday Great Books class, and I don't have a separate sign-in for that. Will there be a separate sign-in for that now?
Yes, there will be all of the classes that are offered online that are limited and private. So the Great Books class, the discussion class with Lynn Sen, I have a list of them, but all of those emails will be going out today. You'll get a link and the password for those private classes. So that's on my rather growing list of things to do. That sending those emails is on that list. So by the end of today, you should get that email.
Thank you.
So how many of you are that we have here on Zoom are new with us this term? Anybody? Well, welcome. We're glad to have you here. Are you going to be only online, or are you going to be also coming in person?
I signed up one online, and I signed up for the behind the headlines, which I understand I can do either, right? So
you can do behind the headlines either way, but it can only be done online via Facebook.
Right.
So it's not one that's available via Zoom, because we can have more people on Facebook than we can on Zoom. It's a wonderful class to come in person, because you can actually really engage with John Brummett in person.
Yeah,
but it's also a video that will be available that you can view throughout the term.
Yeah, so I hope to do both, depending on the week, either way.
Right. I understand that.
And this is Amy, I plan on being in person, but I couldn't be there today for the orientation in person. So I'll probably be really, really lost next week.
Well, the really great thing is I've tried, and if you don't have a name tag or something is wrong with it, let me know, because the name tags are on me, but I put 400 and something of them printed out, and I have volunteers getting them all done today. But on the name tags of new people, I tried to put a little red star that says, hey, I'm new. And so our people who've been around a while are really great about showing you how to get somewhere, or how to find something, or answering questions you might have about the program. We will have some people early on Wednesday from our sponsors who are really knowledgeable about our program. And then there's almost always one of us in the office. Sometimes we all get pulled out in 4 different directions. And so if you pop in and we're not in here right at that time, there'll be somebody popping right back in to answer any questions or help you get where you need to go. But no worries, we'll get you there.
Is it clear what, I'm assuming that the church has many, many entrances, as most churches do. Is it clear where to go when we get to the church?
So the primary entrances that we use are the very front entrances of the church and the entrances that face the cantrell. So they're on the north side of the church. And the daycare uses the backside. Those doors are all locked and always locked. They're the only ones who have access to them. And same with the ones on the opposite side. The church office uses those and the daycare uses those. So the south facing side, we don't use those. But the front of the church and the north side are primarily where we have the doors open and available. If you go to the daycare side, you won't get in because they'll be locked. If you go to the church side, somebody over there will help make sure that you get where you need to go. And there'll be direction signs that say, hey, these classes are this way and these classes are that way. And so we'll try and get to where you need to be.
Thank you.
Well, I'm really excited that we're going to have this term. I'm a little frustrated with COVID like everybody else. But it is what it is, and we kind of have to roll with the punches. At least we're not having to be forced way back online, which is what we had to do last January. When COVID numbers went way up, we had to take the whole program and flip it back to only online. So we're glad to be able to still be in person, wear our masks, be safe, and have some wonderful classes coming up this term. And I'm already working on the brochure for the spring term, and I can tell you there's some exciting things happening there too. I do all of the volunteer coordination. So if you're interested in volunteering, we have numerous ways. When we get lunches back in person, we'll need help with that. We'll need help with snacks when we get those available back in person. I have a mail out that has to go out 4 times a year that I totally depend on volunteers for. You heard me say I have some people right now putting the name tags together. There's just a myriad of ways in which you can volunteer with LifeQuest. My job really is impossible to do without the volunteers. That they make my job doable. So, but I'm really glad to see you guys here. Does anybody have any further questions? Or if you have any questions or concerns, give us a call. You have our number, it's on your brochure. Otherwise, we'll see you guys either online or in person next week.